It is the Hive with me, Bonolo BSting, right here on Kaya 959 on the street and on the air. And we're starting off Women's Month with a bang, baby. The lady sitting next to me is a wife, a mother, a businesswoman, and of course, a very popular sangoma. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only Doctor. Doctor, you must say it correctly. The one and only. Oh my God, I've been stalking you.
Really? Okay. I need to find out who you are on social media.
I've been stalking you.
Like, I want to know who you are so I can stalk you back.
I'm having an emotional moment. Sorry, but anyway, sorry.
Aww.
You know, first and foremost, Gogo, why are people so confused? Like, they've got a love-hate relationship with you. And here you are, when you walked into Kaya 959, you've got such a warm personality. You laugh a lot. Why are you so misunderstood, Gogo?
Well, I've been on TV.
Yeah.
And remember, if we're going to do reality for TV, they will always look for things that will, paint you in a bad way because it sells the show.
Yeah.
So if you want to know who Leanne is, then it's a different story because I'm not like that on a daily basis. And obviously, if I am working, I can't be all smiles when I have to do my traditional work. That is why I cannot be all glamorous when I do traditional work because umkhulu ongphethe is not that person. So at the end of the day, I think it's more of I've been on TV so many times and, people always insinuate the worst and it's never the case. But I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem.
Now, Gogo Maweni, do you know a girl?
I love them. I almost got another one yesterday.
What? The process of you getting them, get them? Or how did that happen?
The funny thing is my dad asked me, okay, I'm in 10 years now of doing my traditional journey. You know, I still believe that I'm still in the journey. I'm still finding out things because a lot of people think and you come back home, that's it. It's not. It's actually the beginning. Uguya Entwasen is just getting the rite of passage, meaning to say I did go, but it's the beginning. So I'm still in my journey of really finding out what is it that is expected of me by my ancestors. So, but coming back to answering your question, my father said to me, I want to know this love of snakes, did it come before you becoming a healer or after? And honestly, after. All the things that I have in my ndumba, which is where I practice, and all the animals that I'm attracted to are attached to my ancestors. So for some reason, I started dreaming of specific snakes, which I started looking for. And it took me a while to get some of them. But I think also it proves the bond that I have with my ancestors. Because for one, ke Mosotho. Mare ha ke latla masapo dintlolo like ha ke tlola when I'm consult I speak Zulu. I don't know where that came from. No one is Zulu from my home. I never grew up speaking Zulu. But let me do a bone reading for you. The first thing I hit is Zulu and I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why? It's a lot of things that have happened and had made me believe that I am actually walking with my ancestors. I'm attached to them. So a lot of things that I do, are driven by them as well. So the love of snakes comes with them.
You were talking about your journey, your spiritual journey. A lot of us don't know, how did it happen for you? Because look, we all know the stories that we get, and everybody's like, oh, it's so hard. Yo, it was traumatic.
To be honest, I didn't want this. I hated this. I was like, no ways. I mean, listen to my English. Hello. I went to good schools. For me, growing up, honestly, I thought Inyanga is Sangoma are dirty people who are illiterate, people who are, not wanted in society, people who are crazy. I thought the worst, especially because my uncle was a traditional healer and he scared me. He freaked me out. Seeing him walk barefoot, and I was like, what's going on with this man? And he would do all these strange things, which I know it's a trance, but by then, now I know better. And I would be like, no, man, this is crazy things that he's doing. I didn't want it. But I always knew growing up that it was something, I wouldn't say something wrong. I'll say something special. Because, that sixth sense, that intuition, the dreaming, feeling as if there are people walking with you or, hearing voices, that all was like, oh, okay. And also the things that I liked, watching paranormal activities, reading more about that, wanting to know zodiac signs, because spirituality is not only ubunguni nobundao, because as African people, that's what we know. It's so broad and it's diverse. There's crystals. There's being a medium as well. So, I was like, no ways. I'm not interested in this. I found out that I had a calling. You know what I did? I packed my bags because I was failing at school. I was in Wits. I was failing. My life was horrible. And, a lot of times people think your life is horrible because your ancestors want to punish you. But that's not the case. They just wanted my attention. But at the time, I was like, hell no. So everything was falling apart. I felt like, you know what? I need a fresh start. And the fresh start won't be in this country. I need to leave. I went to New York.
Yes, when I go.
I lived in the States, for a while, Upper West, 79th Street, in New York. And I was like, okay, I'm running away from this. This thing will never get me. Little did I know, it just got worse. And it eventually, years later, I fell pregnant. And I couldn't have kids, by the way. I was told I would never have children. My periods were irregular. It was just a whole lot. And I felt like there was something wrong with me throughout high school, because now these girls are going on their periods. I'm not, And my dad was like, okay, let's go see a gynecologist. We did that, nothing. And the gynecologist said, you will never be able to have kids. And I was like, oh, okay. And you're telling someone that actually goes to children's homes. I used to go to Etimbeni, taking care of children of fire. That's what I used to do in my spare time while I was still in high school. And I've been told I'll never have kids. It broke me. I don't want to lie.
And then there you are. You're in New York.
I'm in New York, but before I left for New York, I did a spiritual cleansing.
Okay.
Because I needed to alert my ancestors that I'm leaving. You see, I grew up in a family where we embrace spirituality, ancestors. So I grew up knowing there is such a thing as ancestors. There is impepo, there are candles you need to, So when I left, I had a spiritual cleansing. And the healer that was helping me, who was our family healer, who actually passed away, may his soul rest in peace. Yeah, he said we need bigger and tell your ancestors that you're leaving. You can't just leave like you don't belong to anyone or you don't come from anything. So I did that. And he said to me, out of all the things you want, you do know you've got a spiritual calling. You are running away from it, but tell them that you are aware, and you need time. And I figured, okay, this is my opportunity to ask for what I want most, which was a child. So after I did my cleansing, so I'm there by the river and I'm saying, you know what? If you really want me to become a sangoma, give me a child. Because it's a give and take situation.
Yes.
I shouted my ancestors. They need to show up. I did not go through all of that for nothing.
Come on now.
I didn't come back into this country for nothing. You need to show up. You want me to travel and do things? You need to show up. There must be a reason why I'm called to do this. I cannot just get my life and come here and nothing. So I was like, okay, fine. You know what? This is what I want. And then I left. A couple of years later, I got pregnant. Wow. That was shocking for me because I always had this in my mind. I can't have kids. I can't have kids. My first child, I'm in the middle of nowhere without my parents. I don't know anything. I am freaking out. I hid this from my dad. Didn't want him to know that I was pregnant. I was 27 at the time. And, eventually I told my mom. And somehow my dad found out, but not from me. Because I remember when I wanted to come back home to visit, I was literally coming home to visit, right? I bought these big dresses to cover, because I'm like, what am I going to say to my dad? At the same time, I'm like, this is my baby. I'm keeping this baby. I'm going to protect this baby. Okay, fine. I go home. And somehow he says, I know already. You've been hiding this all the time. I know. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Well, go back to the States. Now it's time for me to give birth, right? Something tells me I have to come back to South Africa. The doctor won't sign a paper to release me because I'm over 8 months. I can't get on the flight. Can I tell you, I went to the beach, Galopatla, and I said, I need to go home. And I went back. I bought the ticket, everything. I went home. Everybody was asking how I got on the flight. I was over 8 months pregnant. I wasn't supposed to get on the flight.
Wait, rewind, Cherryl. But to phatlhela ko di beach.
Yes, because remember, if you
like, I think that's so cool.
there are different cleansings,
Yeah.
especially if you're a person that comes from, out of a specific country.
Yes.
The best place to capture your ancestors is to go to a beach.
Water, yeah.
Beach where we say you come from a different country. That's where you can draw in your ancestors. That's the best place to go. Water, abandawo, inzunza, abalozi, water. So, I got on that. I came back and then I had to gave birth to Mason. There were complications, but you know what? My baby was fine, even though he has epilepsy, but is much better now. But he kept on getting sick every week, literally every week after he turned 1.
Ish.
And he got extremely sick for 2 weeks, right? And then I went to a specialist who was supposed to be a specialist, and I emphasize on specialist because he's a specialist. He's supposed to help my child. My child has epilepsy. My child is 1, right? Then he goes off and says he doesn't know what's wrong with my child. And remember, he went into deep sleep. I wouldn't say coma, but I'd say deep sleep.
Yeah.
And Mason wasn't waking up. He said, you know what? I don't know what's wrong with him. He was supposed to be awake right now. But in his sleep, he kept on doing this. And then my mom said to me, you know what? Tsama ulobona motho, which is my late Kobela. And I went to him. The first thing he said to me was like, you don't listen. You don't listen, and you want to fight with your own ancestors, then you're going to see trouble.
They will get your attention.
Then he said, get in the ndumba. Got in the ndumba. He threw the bones. I won't forget the chills in that room. They were chills. And I was like freaking out because you remember I'm still in denial. I don't want this. I want to live my big girl life.
Yeah.
I want to look like, hello, like,
Come on now.
So I get in the Ndumba and he throws the bones and it's cold. And I'm like, oh God, no, I'm not going through these voodoo things again. And then he changes. Like he then starts doing what my son was doing. I'm like, what the hell is that? I freak out in a way, and I'm in panic now because he changes his voice and he speaks and he says, in this deep voice, he says, in Zulu though, you asked us for something, we gave it to you. We are now going to take away what you love the most. And then he says to me, if you want him back, call him because he's not coming back. And he gives me umuti to chew on.
Yeah.
And spit. He had these dolls and I had to spit on the dolls and I had to call him. And immediately I started crying and I was calling him. And then after the trance, he got out of it. And then he's like to me, he'll be fine, but you need to do something about your calling. And can I tell you, there's so many things I've experienced. And as somebody who grew up very bougie, who doesn't understand half of these things, to me, I was shocked because, every time there's something that reveals that there is such thing as ancestors. There is spirituality. Whether you believe in it or not, it's there. When I stepped out of that Ndumba, literally 1 foot out, my mother called me and said, my son is awake. And I said to myself, you know what? If it means I have to do this to save my child, I'm going to do it. As much as I didn't want it, and I felt like it was belittling myself, or I must kneel for someone, make somebody food and whatever, I did it. I went through the whole journey because I wanted to save Mason. And can I tell you, a lot of people get in epetlweni because there are so many problems that they're experiencing and expect that when they leave, everything's going to be perfect. I left, my child was still sick, but not as sick as he was.
Yeah.
But he was still sick. So I was frustrated. I went through all of that, and Mason is still sick because I had this thing. Once I finish, Mason's going to be fine. There's no attacks. He's going to go to a normal school. He won't have a problem. I got frustrated because he got sick and he kept getting sick. I literally closed my ndumba. Never wanted to help anybody for 2 years. I resented it because I felt like I took a part of my life. I had a good place. I had my life was moving. And I stopped that. For what? Until literally I passed 2 years later, I felt like my life was just not worth living anymore because I don't understand what is going on. And then, I kneeled, whatever I have done that might have wronged you. Now, this is the time you need to show me what is it that I need to do because I would love to make amends. I want to take this to another level. And I did that. I dreamt of going to the beach in Durban, Nyokeza intlolo with my bones.
Yeah.
And I did exactly that. And then when I came back, the Sunday, there was a man at the gate. And I went to this man and I'm like, what, can I help you? And he said, uzohlola. I said, uzohlola? Ba who? And he's like, ba you. And I was
this is like
I'm telling you, I have recurring clients. I have people who keep coming. I've never seen that man ever again. But after him, I promise you, I've never stopped working till this day.
Yeah. Dr. Maweni, you've been saying that you are like your modern Makoti, bougie, and then on the other side, you're a traditionalist. Now, on your reality show, if there was anything that killed me with laughter, and you were at your husband's home, and they were like, hey, Sissy, what's also seventh? You're like, but guys, how do you balance between the two? Because honestly, guys, I mean, that's two
separate worlds. I don't want to lie. Separate worlds. My husband, I've said to him, like, your family doesn't understand me, but they love me as much as I love them. The acceptance is great, but obviously there's certain things that they request or require for me to do. But unfortunately, I'm an independent woman. I'm a boss. Me.
Yeah.
I need to work.
Yes.
And in working, I cannot now, be doing certain things. I can get somebody. I'm also doing job creation. I get somebody. Atatusa. You see?
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm still getting somebody to help them. And I'm still working because whatever I'm working at is for our family. At the end of the day, I got to work. But I think they've come to terms with that. And Elena Gayputsa why Marasabela Nasalati bo Baba Bako Jigi kwa. But he wanted something different, and I'm different. And he loves me regardless, and I love him. So,
talking about different, one of the things that I've seen that you've dealt with decisively so, you're a businesswoman, right?
Yes.
And obviously you sell your products, and I saw that there was a lady who was actually now selling your products illegally.
No, that I think a lot of people were very confused with that. But I'm one person. I am not about to stop my life to respond to somebody who's very confused, because listening is a skill.
Yes, darling, yes.
I mean, we do not all acquire it.
Yes.
But some do. I have, I did a video. I said everything. Why do I need to now respond to every comment? You can't respond. I have like over 800 comments on that post. I can't be doing that. It has reached over 1 million views on TikTok. I can't do that.
Yeah.
The problem was the lady was ordering. I don't have a problem with anybody who buys in bulk. In fact, I love that for you.
Yeah.
And whatever you do with the product afterwards, after you've paid me my money and you want to rebrand, you want to change, it's okay because I know my products work.
Yeah.
And the reason why people will be doing that is because they know the products work. So she was ordering, but using fake proof of payments. So they now, I don't know how they did it. They like did these, one of the slips that come out from the bank.
Yes.
She would send those slips, right? A picture of that saying, I have ordered products. At the time when she came to collect the products, we were traveling. We were in Kenya. So the people that work released the products. And I'm like, guys, a big order like this, how come Kisabona the money? Yes, I mean, there's money coming in every day, but I would have seen this. We're talking about 30-something thousand, of product worth of products. I would have seen this. But anyway, it was released. Then she heard that we were in Durban, right?
Okay.
We were in Durban, and therefore she had sent another proof of payment. So my husband was like, oh, okay, she wants to try us again. Because now she thinks that because she got away with it the first time, she can do it again. Remind you, the money is not in the account. The proof of payment is fake. They created it or whatever the case, how they did it, I don't know. All my banking, that whole paying to Gogo Maweni Productions and the account number, it's all there. The amount, it looks so real. It's not even funny. So when I was in Kenya, they couldn't call me to confirm. And obviously, because I was also doing traditional things that side, I didn't have my phone all the time. That is why they released, because they saw a proof of payment. So this time they called and said, Thokoza Baba, there's a client here that's coming to pick up 8,500 worth of products. So we're like, okay, hold on. I need to check. I check, there's nothing. My husband checks, there's nothing. Then we say, oh, okay, where's the client? Apparently she had said that we were taking too long to check, so she has to leave. I think she knew that we were doing something. And then we spoke, my husband and I spoke, and we were like, you know what? Let's ask her to come back and say the products are there. So we gave her a nice courtesy call. She's a big client, so we have to treat her like a big client.
Yes.
So we're like, no, sorry for the delay. Your order is being prepared. Please come and collect it. Come to the Durban store because we've got different branches.
Yes.
She comes to the Durban store. So I say to the girls that are working there, and I'm like, please pretend that you are putting the product together. Don't let her know that I'm on my way. And they were doing exactly that. When I got in, she was sitting on the couch. And mind you, she was so rude to them. Hurry up. You don't know, like, I spend so much money.
Hey. Let's bend.
I spend so much money. You must hurry up. Like, I need to go. I have to be somewhere, whatever. So when I got in, I took my very nice, expensive bag, yes.
Come on now.
I put it on the couch and I said, like, bubuji one side. And I said, namhlanje ngizoshaya umuntu.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, go upstairs. I said, I can't go upstairs because if I go upstairs, I'm going to lose it. Don't let the accent fool you. Don't let the nails fool you. Kitswa Soweto, kitla umura. Kitswa Soweto. Oh, yo. Kingwena mzimhlophe.
That's what I get.
Kibetha bebe namhlanje ngizoshaya umuntu. Namhlanje Sabela was like, no, wait. And I stood there. And she could see. So somebody was asking to see the proof of payment again. I'm like, what proof of payment? She's lying. And she started shaking. And then out of the blue, she said, I'm sorry.
I saw that part. Gogo. And I'm like, only now you want to apologize.
And the funny thing, we've caught someone before who was pretending to be me. We drove all the way to KZN. So, like, you've seen us do this. Why are you doing it again? I think we've caught like 3 people. And I've always put it on social media because, this affects the brand in such a bad way that people will think now I'm running away with people's money. They have ordered. I'm not sending the products, and now people's monies are gone. And who has to account for that? Because now I want to make sure that the brand still has that name. There are people who are for me and the people that are not. But those that are for me must get the best service in terms of what I am doing. Because these are the people that go out and speak good about me in terms of the work that I'm doing. Because a lot of people will think, this one she's because people will say fake sangoma, which I'm okay with that. You don't come to me. I'm worried about the people who come.
Yeah.
Those are the people I'm worried about. If I'm going to entertain people who say bad things about me, then I'm never going to grow in life.
Yeah, but I love the way that you dealt with it. And I'm sure the message has been sent across that people, I'm going to look at all the cameras, you must be very brave. It's the same WhatsApp group.
No, because, and the people are so funny. With the first victim, I let her go, right? I said, you do not do this ever again. And I let her go. Then they say, everything was staged. Everything was staged. Then this one, I get the person arrested. You don't have a good heart. What do you want from me? What do you want? Why must I do that?
It's a waste
do people know how much energy, time goes into doing that? There's so much energy, there's so much time, there's so much anger, there's so many things that you actually need to achieve in order to make sure that you're going to gain success in, executing this. And they don't understand that. They think maybe it's as simple as pressing a remote and watching TV. No.
Lastly, Gogo, as I said, it's Women's Month. Your message for all of the women out there who have probably been in the situation that you were in, where your family, your husband, your advice to women out there on balancing all of that?
Well, first and foremost, August is my birthday month. The girl's getting big.
Yes,
no, you know what? I'm for women. I am for women. I will never even be at a point where I look down on any other woman. But in this life, you need to wake up and do things for yourself. There is so many things that are happening in this country as a whole. And, the worst thing is seeing a young child who's dating an older man, because this has been imprinted. You could see a man must provide. Where did that come from? Because I didn't grow up. Where did people take that from? Was it I provide? No, I didn't grow up with it. My father has taught me, if you want something in life, you get up and you do it. No matter how much it hurts, you wipe your tears and you don't give up. And that is what I want to say. You mustn't give up. It is tough. It rains, it storms. Walk through that storm. Don't sit and wait for it to be sunshine again, because you won't know how strong you are. You won't know how, God is about to open doors for you. But now you're sitting there thinking, I don't have anything. You've got hands, you are beautiful. Go work, find something, start something, believe in something. And some people will say, I'm not getting a job and maybe I'm cursed. Maybe your ancestors don't want you to work for other people. Maybe your spirits want you to start your own thing, because they are those type of people who they don't want you to put yourself down and be working for other people. That is why it's so difficult for you to be finding jobs. So the thing is, we're very quick as women to give up. Life is difficult, but you need to go through the difficulties to see how strong you are. So get up and do it.
Get up and do it. Thank you so much, Gogo, for coming through to Kaya 959 and in the Hive. Please continue slayage. Continue slayage. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is, of course, the one and only Gogo Maweni right here on Kaya 959 on the street and on the air.